coming back from a short recess for our Tuesday, July 21st, 2020 meeting. We're on our next item, which is a discussion or an action item, which is a briefing on Planning Commission's recommendations on the 2020 docket.
Good morning, Council. This is Sophia Casson from the Department of Community Development. I am here to update you. Oh, excuse me, I think I have the live stream playing in the background. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I'm here to update you on the Planning Commission public hearing on the 2020 docket, and then also to set the date for the Council docket public hearing. Just as a reminder, the docket is a set of requests from the public for changes to the comp plan and to the development code. And when we adopt the docket, we are basically deciding whether and when to add the requests to the Department of Community Development work plan. We adopt the docket by resolution, which requires public hearings from the Planning Commission and the Council. So the Planning Commission held a public hearing on the 2020 docket last Friday, July 17th, and they recommend approval of the staff recommendation provided in the staff report dated May 11th, which I briefed Council on at our June 23rd meeting. There wasn't any public testimony at the hearing, and nor was there really much discussion from the Planning Commission. I believe you received correspondence from Michael Derland and the Deer Harbor Planning and Review Committee Secretary about the Deer Harbor sub-area plan and the docket process. However, the Planning Commission didn't receive those because the correspondence really wasn't about specific, they weren't commenting on specific docket requests. It was more about some behind the scenes processes. So yeah, that's all for my update. We do need to set the date for the Council public hearing on the 2020 docket, and DCD is requesting that Council hold that hearing on August 25th.
Great, thank you, Sophie. Is there any comments or questions from Council?
Not at this time.
None for me.
All right, I would entertain a motion to set a public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I move we set a public hearing to be briefed on the Planning Commission recommendations on the 2020 docket for Tuesday, August 25th at 9:15 a.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have a public hearing to review the 2020 docket as discussed by the Planning Commission for Tuesday, August 25th at 9:15. Any questions?
Nope.
Comments? Nope. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Sophie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is a discussion action is to schedule a public hearing on an ordinance regulating marijuana production and processing facilities, amending San Juan County Code 18.20.130, 18.30.30, 18.30.40, 18.30.460, and adding new sections for the August 25th, 2020, 9:15 a.m. That would be the scheduling time requested for the public hearing. Mr. Zach, Adam Zach, Planner 3, are you on the line?
I am, yeah, thank you. So I'm here to ask you to set a public hearing for August 25th on the proposed regulations for marijuana production and processing. The Planning Commission held a public hearing and made recommendations on the regulations last Friday, July 17th. The Council was last briefed on these proposed regulations on March 17th. We were on track to go through this process in April, but public hearings were set back by the pandemic. As you know, the county has had a moratorium on new permits for marijuana production and processing since April of 2019. The moratorium was enacted to allow the county some time to adopt new performance standards for marijuana production and processing. It was last renewed for 6 months on March 24th. And the moratorium will need to be extended if new regulations are not adopted by September 24th. Holding the public hearing in August will keep us on track to adopt new regulations before the moratorium expires at the end of September. So the Planning Commission pretty much recommended the same, the draft of the ordinance that we had looked at previously in March. They did make some minor changes to the road improvement standards, which we can go over before the hearing in August. So with that, I will answer any questions you have, and yeah, thank you.
Mr. Watson.
No questions at this time.
Mr. Stevens.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up when we were last briefed, because I was like, I don't remember seeing anything. But anything in March, that pretty much explains it.
Yeah.
Are we gonna? I guess we'll get a copy of it before the public hearing.
Yes, I just haven't had a chance to transmit the Planning Commission recommendations because they met Friday. But
Okay.
we'll get that to you in advance of the hearing.
Great, thank you. Some of those things that are that far back, we need to kind of refresh our memory.
Amen.
Sure.
Very good point, Mr. Stevens. Anything else from council? I don't have anything. If I would entertain a motion for setting the public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I move we schedule a public hearing on an ordinance regulating marijuana production and processing facilities, amending San Juan County Code 182130, 1830-030, 1830-040, 1830-460, and adding new sections for August 25th, 2020 at 9:15 a.m.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to schedule a public hearing for an ordinance regulating marijuana production and processing facilities, amending San Juan County Code 18.20.130, 1830.30, 1830.40, 1830.460, and adding new sections for a public hearing set on August 25th, 2020 at 9:15 a.m. in Friday Harbor. Are there any additional questions or comments?
Nope.
Yep.
And again, to support Mr. Stevens's point, if we could get some material, I think it's been a long time since we thought about this, the sooner the better, although we're a month or so away, but it would be great to have that in the next week or so, if possible, Mr. Zach. Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much, Adam. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to getting slightly back on track to some things we left off in March. Thank you. Alrighty, so that concludes the majority of our meeting today. Council member updates. Mr. Stevens, do you have anything?
No, we've got a Northwest Regional Council meeting on Thursday. And I think that is probably the biggest thing right now.
And Mr. Stevens, I assume that's a Zoom call, correct?
Yes.
I forgot to ask you a question yesterday. When we were talking about the sheriff's budget and that radio program, that $35,000, that's tied to Northwest Regional Council, is it not?
It is. Northwest Regional Council, we discussed it at our last meeting, which was quite a while ago also. Anyway, the Northwest Learn used to be a large part of the Northwest Regional Council, but it's gotten smaller and smaller part, and it doesn't really fit with what the Regional Council does now. And plus, most of all the counties that are involved in it have kind of moved on to different systems, and so Northwest Regional Council is just going to get out of that part of their business.
Great, thank you. Mr. Watson?
No updates since last week.
Mr. Thomas?
Caught him off guard. Struggling for the unmute button like everyone else. Let's see. I got my WASAC call this afternoon with other folks. I'm going to bring up the issue of testing and what people might be doing. And then Thursday is the summer conference for the Washington County Risk Pool, which will be done virtually. So on Thursday, I'll see if I can run a meeting with probably about 80 folks. So that'll be interesting. That's all from me.
All right, we have one appointment. Ingrid, do you have anything?
I do not.
Rick, I've got one other thing here. And I've got a meeting tomorrow with Deputy PA Amy Vera and Sally Rogers, and I believe Mike will be there also. There were some public records legislative changes, and Amy and Sally are going to brief us on it, and I'll bring it back to council.
Great, thank you. I don't have anything as well since last week. Our next meeting, again, we'll hopefully do a finalization on our budget changes on Monday. Hope to get more information to you guys during the week regarding some of the wage stuff that was presented yesterday. If you could think about, we're still looking at a relatively large shortfall for 2021, so if you could come with any additional thoughts on how we can get there, that would be appreciated. We have a Board of Equalization appointment. If it's all right, I'm not sure. I will just make that nomination if that's all right.
Yep.
I move to appoint Poke Hafner to the at-large position of the Board of Equalization until July 2023.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Poke Hafner to an at-large position of the Board of Equalization until 2023. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries 3-0. And again, I apologize. I was expecting, I would have put a little bit more on the agenda, but I was expecting the discussion regarding going into or removing or discussing removing of the phase 3 application to last longer. But since the governor and the Department of Health removed our application, there's no need to do it. So next week we'll fill things up a little bit more. Right now, we have a closed session to discuss matters pertaining to collective bargaining pursuant to RCW 42.30.144B. Mike, half an hour?
Please. Yes, 30 minutes.
So we will be out about 11:30. Is there any need to, are we going to be making a decision?
I don't believe so.
Okay, no action will be taken. We will come out of the closed session and be adjourned for the day. Thank you very much.